everybody, it's your girl Miracle Sims, and you are listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is September the 10th, 2020, and today I want to talk about the ram in the bush. Friends, I guess I'm kind of excited right now because I guess I saw a little bit of a ram in the bush recently about some things, things that I've been wanting to do. I know I've shared on the podcast how I've been feeling over the past few days and few weeks or everything like that. And so I think I got a way to make some things happen. But before I make the announcement, I'll wait on it since it's not official yet. But I think I figured out a way, and that's pretty exciting for me. Just because it's like I feel like I need this time and we need this time, my husband and I, and everything like that. That might give you a little bit of a sneak peek of what I'm talking about, but I'm gonna confirm it maybe tomorrow. We'll see. But anyway, but I just was reminded, I guess, through the situation that God always provides a ram in the bush. He provides a way for us in so many different ways. I mean, I know that my little testimony is probably like, it doesn't really compare to all the things that God do for us, and the way outs that He makes for us in situations, and just the rams in the bushes of our life. I guess I say all that to say, like, what I've observed about myself over the years is that I was always the type of person where I would go through something and then I wouldn't see the way that I could have got out of it, or I wouldn't see the ram in the bush until after the fact. And then I would always be like, man, why did I have to go through the thing? And now I see how this could have been avoided, or now I see another way that I could have done this or that or the other, right? I don't know whoever else is like that as well, but I would say over the years that I was like that. However, I've noticing lately now, I'm getting a little better. I would say I feel like, I'm becoming more aware of the rams in the bushes, rather than just kind of thinking about things after the fact, or just going through stuff, or just being like, oh, well, there's no way out, or there's no way that this or that can happen, or just counting it out and not seeing I guess what God can do in the midst of all the situations. So I feel like I'm getting a little bit better in that area. I guess that's my whole point of sharing this morning. And because of that, I think that's why I was able to realize that, okay, if I make some changes here, if I just change my mind about a few things, then this thing can work out. And the door can be open, and the windows of opportunity can be open as well. And so, that's why I'm sharing this morning, because I don't know where you are. Maybe you are where I was maybe some years ago, and you just don't see a way out, or you just don't see, how God can bless in spite of whatever you may be going through. Or you may be where I am, and you're like, yes, I am there too. I'm getting better, and yes, I need to, continue to work on this, right? But either way, wherever place you are in, I hope that this inspires you and encourages you this morning, because again, He always makes a way out, and there's always a ram in the bush. We just gotta see it sometimes. Like, we just gotta actively look for it sometimes too. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna put it in the go deeper section, but just to give you guys a little quick summary of the whole where this whole ram in the bush concept comes from. We're talking about Abraham. Y'all remember that story about Abraham? I don't know if you're doing that, but basically God told him to go and sacrifice his son on the altar, okay? And And just basically Abraham got all the way to the point of pulling up the knife when, the angel of the Lord appeared and told him not to do it, X, Y, and Z. And, I guess also told him, how proud he was that, that he fears God, and that this was a direct example of how much Abraham believed, heard, and feared, which is another way to say respect God. And then right after he was stopped, he saw the ram in the bush, and that's where he ended up sacrificing instead. Now, at the end of the day, we all know, or if you a Bible believing person, then you know that this was an example of Christ on the cross for us. This was an example of what God did for us through Christ. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, 1 Peter 2:24, it says, He himself bore our sins in his body on the tree, that we might die to sin and live to righteousness. By his wounds you have been healed. So that's what Jesus did for us on the cross, y'all. That's why we can get past any sin. We can get past anything that comes towards us in this life. Especially when we have Jesus and we come to Christ and just recognize this ram in the bush that he's given us, y'all. At the end of the day, that's the beautiful thing about the gospel. It's all the things in life that are beating us down, all the things in life that are holding us down, we don't have to even worry about. Like I said, I don't know where you are right now. I don't know if you're really, really going through, or if you've already been a little bit triumphant. I don't know what place you're in right now. But at the end of the day, understand that, this is our, what they say, our trump card. Jesus is our way out. Jesus is our, redeeming factor. We just really, really gotta obviously you have to believe. You have to believe in what the gospel says and represents. And, you got to believe that Jesus is God. You got to believe the Christian values, everything like that. And you got to live accordingly and, live like you believe these things. At the end of the day, I came across this verse right here. It's a little lengthy, but I'm going to go ahead and read it. It's Psalms 121, 1-8. It says, A song of ascent. I lift up my eyes to the hills from where my help comes from. My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. He will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade on your right hand. There you go, friends. He's our keeper. It's a beautiful thing when you really, really recognize it, and when you really acknowledge it. Because at the end of the day, again, I understand. I get it. There's so much we're going through in life. There's so many things, but I guess I will hope that you pray today. If you're not in the place where I am, or if you're not in a place where you feel like, oh, I am seeing God's hand in my life, or I am seeing the ram in the bush in my life, or maybe you're in that place where you're like, I need to see God's ram in the bush, then pray, friends. That's the main way you can start to see. That's the main way you can start to understand God and his wisdom and what he wants to do in your life. Speaking of that, Romans 11:33 says, oh, the depth of the riches and wisdom and knowledge of God. How unsearchable are his judgments, and how inscrutable his ways. So yeah, friends, that's, that's just like getting a little peek into God's wisdom, right? Acknowledging him is getting just that little peek into his wisdom, and into, I guess the more we get in tune to God and his wisdom, then the more that we'll be able to see his hand in our life, I guess that's my message for y'all this morning. I hope that this encourages you, Because, again, like I said, I know my little scenario just pretty much reminded me of this. And the only thing that I had to do in my scenario was to see God's hand and to see a way out and to see a way, period, right? To see the light, to see a way out of my situation or out of my slump. Or, like I said, I'll explain it all when I get everything together, then I'll explain it more. But as of right now, I just kind of just pretty much want to stick to this. It's just sharing that all I had to do to see God's hand in the situation and to see God, a way that God had made for me to do and have the things that I've been desiring, is just to change my mind a little bit. I had to change my own perspective and my own thoughts and my own plan, quote unquote, my own, how else can I say it, Lord? Like, I had to just kind of change my own mind, just a smidge, to see that a way had already been made. Like, I mean, I guess I should just let that marinate today. Like, that's it. Like that. And so, because I changed my mind about a couple of things, I get the desires of my heart because I see a way that, like, God has already made a way, and I already see it, and I see it now. But when I was so focused on my own thoughts of the way I wanted it to happen, or the way I wanted to do it, or this or whatever, this or that, I couldn't see it. I couldn't see a way to make it happen, for example, or I couldn't see a way for it to happen, But, like I said, changing my mind just a little bit opened the door. And so I hope that encourages you this morning. I hope that inspires you this morning. Because at the end of the day, like, sometimes that's all we got to do to see a change and see God's hand in our lives. Change your mind just a little bit. Try it. Try it. That's all I say to you, friends. Well, speaking of that as well, let's get on into the Bible verse of today, and that is Proverbs 9 and 10. It says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding." I'm telling y'all, man, listen, you want to get a little bit more wisdom, you want to see God's hand in your life, start to go and understand Him. Start with that. Beginning of wisdom, the fear of the Lord, respect of God is the beginning of wisdom. Well, friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. If you like what you hear, then consider supporting our podcast. Every listener that supports us for $9.99 a month will be entered into our monthly raffle for a chance to win a free gift. So become a supporter today.